Oh, what is up, Mass Mikes? It's Mass Mike 830 here, and welcome to the first episode of Mass Mike's Movie and Media Mania. Now, if you guys haven't noticed, I love movies. I love watching them. I love talking about them with my friends and family. The movie theater is my all-time favorite place to go. I could go on and on about it. And I wanted to make part of this channel where I could just talk about movies, whether it be tier rankings or reviews, movie reviews. I'll just let you guys know what I thought about these movies or this movie or that movie, and I just thought it would be so fun. And I wanted to start it today with the Kung Fu Panda movie tier ranking. Let's get to it. Alright, so I will be doing it in order from my least favorite to I'll put a timeline in so that you guys can go from Kung Fu Panda 4 to... And before I get started, I just want to let you guys know. So, let's get started. All these movies. I think they're all great. None of them are necessarily terrible, in my opinion, but there are some that are, there are most that are better than the others. Alright, so let's get started. Now, my least favorite movie of the Kung Fu Panda trilogy had to have been Kung Fu Panda 4. Right off the bat, this movie was visually spectacular. And I really liked the chameleon. I liked how they put Tai Lung and Kai and Shen. I loved how they put all of them in there for one battle. And then I loved that at the very end they all bowed to Po. That was awesome. And then, but there are some things of the movie that I didn't really like, per se. I didn't like the relationship between Lee and Mr. Ping. I thought that was kind of weird. And I kind of knew Zhen would be the villain. Like, after she said, like, oh, a mentor took me in, she became my parental figure. Yeah, that was I knew from the get-go that was the chameleon, right when she said that. And then, I didn't like Shifu. Shifu was kind of like antagonistic, more antagonistic than he's been since Kung Fu Panda 1. And at least in Kung Fu Panda 1, he had, like, more scenes. And, I also didn't like the fact that they put the Furious 5 in there at the very end. Like, I wanted the Furious 5 to be in there for, like, at least, like, 5 minutes. Put them in there for 5 minutes, even if they get their butts whooped. Put them in there for 5 minutes. Give them a good, clean fight. But apparently that didn't happen, and they were only in there for, like, the very end of the movie. And then I know they kind of explained it, but that's still, oh, dang it. I just really missed the Furious 5 in this movie. So, I'm gonna put Kung Fu Panda 4 at a 7. 7 sounds good. It was good. It was really, really good, but it wasn't my favorite. It definitely, by far, was not my favorite. Coming up at number 3, we have, number 3. Now, I actually thought number 3 was actually really good. I rewatched it a few days ago, and I'm like, man, this is actually really good to prepare for number 4. And this was actually really good. I loved the connection between Lee and Po, and then the third wheel connection between Lee, Po, and Ping. That was great. Much better than the connection between Lee and Ping in number 4. And then I loved Kai. Kai was awesome. He was just so powerful, and he was a villain, a straight up villain. Just no hands down villain. Full through, and I loved it. This movie was so good. It did have some slow points, but again, so did Kung Fu Panda 4. And Kung Fu Panda 4 had a little bit more slow points than number 3. But I still really liked both 3 and 4. 3 more than 4, but yeah, 3 and 4. So I'm going to put Kung Fu Panda 3 at an 8. 8.5. 8.5. Perfect. Coming up at number 2, we have actually number 2. Oh my gosh, you guys. Kung Fu Panda 2 was, oh my gosh, it was a great movie. It just had so much emotion. And then they mixed that emotion with some fight scenes and some action and some comedy. And it was so good. They made this movie perfectly. And it was the perfect sequel to a perfect movie. And guys, I have to give this one a 9 out of 10. This movie was so good. And now we get to my top favorite Kung Fu Panda movie, which is Kung Fu Panda 1. And before you ask, yes, I did do them in order, but that is how I like the Kung Fu Panda movies. The first one was the best. The fourth one, not so much. And the second and third one are great too. And then, so let's talk about the first one. Alright, so let's start with the comedy. Now, the comedy in this movie was hilarious. The Art of Whispering Warrior scene, that was hilarious. And then when he met Shifu, oh man, that was hilarious. When Tai Lung escaped the prison, oh my gosh, that scene was awesome. It was just so cool. And then there are such good fight scenes in this movie for an animated movie. This movie has top-notch fight scenes, like the break scene, Tai Lung's escape, Tai Lung versus Shifu. All awesome, spectacular fight scenes. Now, all of the Kung Fu Panda movies are great, but Kung Fu Panda 1 just had that flair that the sequels did, but just not as good. This movie is one of my favorite DreamWorks movies of all time, hands down, period. Maybe second favorite, next to How to Train Your Dragon. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you guys next time with more rankings and reviews to come.